Hello and welcome to another tutorial by Stitch-A-Saurus. In this episode, I'm going to be showing how to do a split round. It's basically when you take one basic shape and turn it to two other shapes. In this case, it's going to be cylinder into two smaller cylinders. I often use this in patterns for such things like feet, and I'm pretty sure you'll come across this in other patterns as well. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is, look at the pattern. In this case, I have 18 single crochets across. I'm just going to make two small 9s here. So the first thing I'm going to do is crochet 9, but I'm going to go ahead and mark my first stitch here so I don't have to count back. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So I'll have on this side, I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then on this side, I'll have 9 as well. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then the stitch marker is a 9. So what I'm going to do to start this first cylinder is to put my hook across to the first stitch, the one right in front of my marker, yarn over, and I'm going to squish it together so I can do 1. So that's 1. Which is this, so I just kind of created that stitch. So I'm just going to want to go into the next one here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So if I pull out my hook here for a moment and count, I got 1, come on camera, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stitches. And if we count back over on the original here, we still have, counting backwards, so we know this is that first one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we still have 9 stitches over there. I'm going to do one more round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So you'll notice here that we've just kind of left this for now, and this is getting much longer. So sometimes, like I said, this can become legs, toes. Sometimes people use it to do like an elbow even, because if you do the basic shape and you get it bigger, then cut it in half, you can have one part of the arm going one part of the other, and then the circle you start, the magic circle you started with is kind of the elbow there. I'm going to go ahead and fasten off here. Normally it would most likely keep going. It's hard to cut when you're looking through the camera. So I'm going to fasten off here, and then I'm going to rejoin my yarn. And we need to start working on the other side. So what I often do is, so we'll look here, this isn't a stitch we want to go into. That's not our first stitch. This is actually our first stitch. So we're going to start with that stitch. Tails are all getting messed up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you'll notice here, this is my last stitch here. I've marked it, take a stitch marker out, and then 9. Now this is actually a part of when many people come to their first issue is there's a hole. You're going to end up creating a bit of a hole here, So one technique I like to do, there's kind of two ways I've found to solve this issue. The first and easiest way is just to come back and sew it later. So when you've joined, if you want to take that option, leave a longer tail than I did here, and then come back and use that tail that you used to join to sew up any holes. That's actually quite an easy thing to do, and just make sure your tail is long enough to easily sew it. But I'm not a fan of sewing. So what I like to do actually is another technique where I actually kind of add a decrease in, just so it kind of takes it takes care of the hole for me. Now it's not an actual decrease. I'm not really adding stitches. I'm just kind of picking up spots. So I'm gonna zoom out a little here. So it's kind of a bit of an art in my opinion. You just want to kind of see where you're like, where would it be to pick up? So in this case, we have a join here. So I'm going to put my hook in there like that. And I'm going to yarn over and pull through. Now, this is not my first stitch. I don't want that there. Now here we also have the join. So I'm going to put my hook through there, yarn over and pull through. So now I've got a lot on my hook. But now I'm actually going to do my first real stitch, which is this one. This is the first stitch. I'm going to yarn over. Oh no, I lost all of them. The joys of trimmers in your hands. I'm going to pick this one back up again. Now I'm going to go back in the first stitch and not drop all my stitches again. There we go. So I've got a lot on here, but I'm just going to pull all through all of them. Now, I didn't really add any stitches, but what I did do, you'll notice there's no hole because I picked up where we joined. So now I still have 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I still have the 9 stitches. I've already done the first one, but this way I don't have to go back and sew. Now, like I said, it's a bit of an art form. So if you see that I have a tiny, tiny hole, so you can always go back and, like I said, use the tail to sew it if your hole is bigger, or if you just couldn't find any good spots. But that's a technique I often use, and it usually works pretty well for me because, again, you have to really pull it apart right there if you want to find that hole, or pull it a bit tighter. But that is how you do what I call a split round. So now we've got 2 cylinders. So we started with 1 cylinder of 18, and now we've got 2 cylinders of 9, and we can do whatever we want with them. So I hope that's been helpful, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you very much.